2023 is coming to an end, and we're about to hit 2024. And before we can even think about the future, we got to think about what we did this year, just to see, just to kind of gauge and reminisce, kind of see what lessons I could take from this year and I could bring on to next year, see what I could work on that were my weaknesses this year that I can strengthen in the next year. But first I want to reminisce. Okay, so 2023, what did I do? I feel like this year has been such a big year for me personally, growth wise and just life wise and experience wise. I don't know, I did a lot this year. It's pretty crazy. I think this is one of genuinely one of the best years of my life. I did a lot of things. Biggest things were probably concerts. I didn't travel a lot this year. I probably only went to 3 different cities. I went to New York, I went to Vancouver, and then I went to Montreal. But those were all pretty short trips, 3-day, 5-day, and then 1 day or 2 days. So not that long of a trip, but that's mostly because I also moved cities this year. I moved out of my hometown. I finally did it after years of saying it. And that was a whole big thing in itself. And I guess those are a couple points I can cover, But let's start with concerts. Concerts. I went to, I have a whole list on my phone. Let me pull it up. I went to so many concerts and music festivals this year. It's actually crazy. I think I went to in total seen over 15 people. But yeah, honestly, I don't know how normal that number is. I feel like that's a little bit high for the average person. But for me, yeah, that's the most people I've ever seen in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But let me see right here. Okay, yeah, every artist and DJ I saw this year in 2023. All right. So to start off the year, I saw Crank Dat, who's a DJ. He's a hardstyle DJ. I think I saw Valentino Khan and Loud Luxury. I saw SZA and Omar Apollo because Omar Apollo opened for SZA in Vancouver. I saw Division, and then at another festival at home, I saw DJ Snake Zed's Dead. I went to this Veld Music Festival in Toronto, which is their big EDM music festival. Saw Zed, Elenium, Subtronics, Tiesto, Slander, Dam Dalla, Medusa, Jaws, etc. Surprise. One random show that me and my girlfriend went to, we went to Sway Lee, and he brought out Nav, and they played Spider-Man songs and all that shit. Crazy night, crazy, unexpected, amazing night. Saw Wax Motif. I saw Kiana Lede with my girl. And then the big ones were Drake, who brought out J. Cole and 21 Savage. Opened for him with Central C, and I guess Sexy Red. I don't really give a fuck. But that was probably the best show of the year, in my opinion. But after that, literally the day after I saw Drake, me and my friends all went to Montreal, and we saw this one DJ that we've been listening to for so long and have been so excited to see. He's an upcoming DJ, but now he's blowing up. There's Knock 2. If you ain't listened to Knock 2, go listen to Knock 2, Room 202 album, crazy. And then after Knock 2, me and my girlfriend and my friends flew in to the city to visit us and see Bryson Tiller. And that was so fun. That was crazy. Shout out Bryson for shooting me the free tickets to his show, man. That's another one that's a crazy story. And then after that, unexpectedly, me and my girlfriend ended up seeing Doja Cat and Ice Spice, fam. Ice Spice, fam. Crazy. But so those are all the shows I went to this year. Pretty insane lineup. I guess you can kind of separate concerts and festivals. So concerts, I probably went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went to 6 concerts, and the rest were raves / EDM festivals. So I don't know. Do you want to call it concert? But technically I saw 6 concerts and then 10 DJs. Same shit, honestly. It doesn't really matter. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. But okay, I'm gonna start off with best show of the year. Okay, best show of the year, Drake, easily. The story for that. So me and my girl, we got the pre-sale tickets. We got the pre-sale tickets when they came out. I think I got section 100s, and then the next day I was you know what, fuck it, I'll just on the actual day of the drop, I was like, fuck it, I'll just see if I can get like a floor ticket. I got on super early. You know, when Ticketmaster, when it's like, oh, you're fucking 1,000 in line. I was like number 200th in line, which has never happened before. So I was pretty early. So I copped the floor tickets. And so I had like 4 tickets. And then like, yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I don't know. We don't know which ones to go to. Like, do we want to be close to Drake or do we want to be in the sections? Cause like we were seeing like TikToks where like the stadium is like fucking 10 feet high. And like, we also didn't want to be like getting bodied because, you know, it's Drake concert, you know, like Toronto Mans are going to be up in there. But thankfully that didn't happen. But yeah, so then we had to pick between the two. We ended up picking the floor, obviously. And then we were kind of stressing out. But then later we found out it was fine. Like, it was all good. Like, at the end of the day, like, we were literally front row seats at Drake. We sold our other tickets to a couple of buddies of ours. We didn't even extort them. You know, we could have sold that shit for like $2,000 each or $1,000, but we sold them for retail, you know, a little bit above retail. But like, yeah, so, but it was crazy. Like, we were in line for like maybe only 3-4 hours the day of. And then like, it was pretty cold that day, but it was crazy. And then like, we were front row of Drake. We literally like booked it as soon as they let us in. Front row. We didn't leave that whole time. And show was insane. Like, yes, like there were points where like I couldn't really see him because the stage was so high and he would like walk a little to the other side. Like once he reached the half point of like the stage, like you couldn't see him anymore. But like when he was there, like he was there. Like I could see like his balls in my face. You know what I mean? I could see the sweat dripping from his head. And like, yo, man, it was just crazy. Like we got to sing songs together. Like he would point at me. He would point at my camera. We would sing like the lyrics together. That was like, I'll put like an example on the screen or something, but that was probably like a highlight core memory of this year. And then second best show, I'd probably have to go with Knock 2 because like that DJ has been like one me and my friends have been looking forward to for so long now. And like just all of us having to travel to Montreal and like having that experience of all just being together in a different city. And the venue was just so nice. And then we ended up like, we actually bought like general admission tickets to the show. And then when we got there, for some reason, they gave us like 360 VIP, which means like you get to be around the DJ like when like during the show instead of at the front. And we're like, what the fuck? Well, I guess we'll just take it. So we've been getting pretty lucky with concerts this year. Like I've pretty much hit like almost front row / like very close to like the performer at almost every show like I ever went. I went to this year. It was actually insane. But like, yeah, we were so hyped. It was just so crazy. We just had such a good time. Like it was like exceeded our expectations because like we would like you could watch like DJ sets online and like you usually get to like see what you're getting into. And like even though we knew what we were getting into, like there was still so much more and it was so much different in person. Like I barely remember what happened, but like it was still just insane. We got to meet him after too. He got his autograph, got his photos. Oh, I got to like talk to him. Yo, shit was crazy. So many inside jokes came out of that trip too. Bay Area represent. But yeah, like it was a fun time. I think that is definitely one of my favorite shows. And then third has to be unexpectedly low key Doja and Ice Spice fam. Because Ice Spice, first of all, Ice Spice was fire. Like, actually, like, ass and booty aside, like, I think Ice Spice is actually a great performer just in general. You know, like, she has the energy. She brings that energy. Like, to warm up an audience for Doja Cat, like, someone as big as Doja Cat, you got to warm them up. She did, like, a perfect, like, opening for, like, to warm up the set because, like, everybody was hyped for it. And then once Doja came out, Doja was just crazy. Like the craziest production, like in my opinion, better performance, better production than Drake. On like 100%. Like it's not even like it's pretty crazy how like insane Doja was. Like the choreography was crazy. Her vocals were insane. The visuals, set design, everything like to a T. It was just so hype. It was so unexpectedly hype, and I was so happy that I ended up going. Like me and my girl went with a couple of our friends that were also in the city. Like literally last minute, we went to like get drinks with them before they went like to pregame, and then I was like, fuck it, you know what? Let's just go like an hour before, and I don't regret that decision at all. It was pretty crazy. Like that show was like insane. Like it was amazing. It was truly a sight to behold. I feel like I only like Drake a little bit more was just because I knew more Drake songs and I've been a fan longer, you know. But overall, all good concerts in general. And then I think like runner up, like honorable mention, Bryson Tiller. I'd say that just because like he's my favorite, like one of my favorite artists, like top three of all time. And like, I don't know, maybe not top three of all time, but I don't know, top five. But Trap Soul is my favorite album of all time. And like I've memorized that album since I was like 15 years old when it came out. And I still listen to it like weekly, daily, honestly. And that shit was just amazing to like witness, especially because like here's what happened. Let me tell you the story. So me and my girl tried to get tickets to Bryson Tiller like the day of. We slept in, and so we missed it. And there was like going for a resale. And I was like, I don't know, like $200, bro. Like really, like I don't know, man. Like let's just sit on it for a bit. But then I was like, you know what? Let me like text. Let me just shoot him a text. I'll be like, I shot him a text. I was like, yo, I've been a big fan for so long. Unfortunately, I missed out on the tickets to your Toronto show because of ticket scalpers and all that. But I would have loved I would have loved to seen you, you know what I mean? I didn't expect anything from it. Like 10, 20 minutes later, shoots me a DM. He's like, yo, don't worry about it. Message me the week of and I'll get you on a guest list. And I was like, yo, what? B Tiller, God Tiller, Pen Griffey's messaging me, putting me on a guest list at a show. Like that shit's crazy. Like I talk about this all the time and I don't mean it to like brag or anything, but like it's just so crazy. If you're one of your favorite artists, like offered you to be on his guest list on his show, like to just see the show for free just cause, you would be like ecstatic about it too, you know? You wouldn't stop talking about it too. Don't even lie, don't cap. But yeah, like that shit was crazy. And then like the day of or like the day before, like we got in contact again and then we just like went back and forth and yeah, like he just hooked it up, gave me the VIP full swing. The show was insane too. Like it was an amazing show. Like he really knows how to like bring a performance, put his vocals in there. It was a bit of a smaller, more intimate show, which I like honestly with like certain artists. Like I feel like with Drake, like an intimate show would be nice, but I did like that full scale concert. But like I'd say for people like J. Cole or something, or like Bryson Tiller, or even if there was like Summer Walker or some shit like that, I think an intimate show like that is like so worth it. Even like Brent Fias, who I fumbled the bag this year of seeing, but it's all good. But yeah, like it was just so intimate and so nice to just like see somebody that you've listened to for years and that's very like whose music impacted you for so long, just to see them like up close and like it was awesome. It was awesome. Like shout out B Tiller, bro. Like thank you so much. But yeah, that's enough for concerts. But like, I guess talk about festivals. I love festivals. They're just so fun too. But I feel like there's not much to say there. You know what I mean? I feel like I've gone to a couple festivals nowadays that like it's kind of like diluting for me. Like every time I say that all the time, but every time I'm at the festival, I have like the best time of my life. But I just want to get to the next thing, which is I moved this year. That was actually, you know, before I say that, SZA. Shout out SZA. That was like the first show I think I saw this year. One of the first shows I saw this year. First concert at least I saw this year. Beautiful production, beautiful voice, beautiful person. Omar Apollo opened. Shit was crazy. But SZA was amazing. That was an amazing show. Saw her in Vancouver with my friends and my girlfriend. That was amazing show. Beautiful. SOS, amazing album. 10 out of 10. I think my most listened to album of the year. Like 3 of my most listened to songs of the year were from that album. I'm pretty sure SZA was like one of my most listened to artists of the year too. But anyways, let's get to, I moved to Toronto. I moved out of my hometown. I'm from Winnipeg. That's like the middle of nowhere of Canada. Like legit in the middle of nowhere, because we're actually like, I think you can drive like 2 hours from like our city and like you can be in like the center of Canada. So it's literally in the middle of nowhere. But I moved from my hometown, small city, you know, grew up there, born there, raised there, 22 years of my life. And I've been wanting to leave for a while. Like when I graduated in 2018, I was already planning to move to go to like film school. And then I was like, okay, well, I need more money. So I'm gonna move in like 2019. 2019 hit, I started doing like a lot of like independent work, like just like videos and stuff in general too. And then 2020 COVID hit, so I couldn't move. And then I started blowing up on social media. And so I entered my influencer era or content creator era, like that 3 years, or like just the next 2 years. Just I was like, okay, well, I just gotta focus on this for now. And then in that 2 years, I was like thinking like, oh, okay, I gotta make the move. Like my life's changing. I'm getting bigger. Like I gotta get into an environment that supports my dream, because being in a small city where you have big dreams is just not cutting it, because it's just gonna limit the person I could be. You know what I mean? So I plan to move, and then like I was always just saying like, you know what, I'll do it when I'm ready to be financially ready, personally ready. And then I realized like, you know what, you'll never truly be ready. And that's the hard truth of it all. Like when you want to make big changes, like you can't be ready for change. You just gotta take that leap of faith and face it head on, because like we're never ready for what's next. We're never ready for the risk. We just gotta take the risk. You know, we gotta take it. So in July, end of July, like July 30th, 31st, we took the leap. Me and my girlfriend moved out to Toronto. And since then, like I would say it's smooth sailing, but it's not. Honestly, moving is probably the most stressful shit like ever, especially moving to a different city. Crazy. Like we didn't think it was gonna be like we knew it was gonna be hard, but like we didn't expect it to be like this bad. Like when like before we moved, like the already hassle of just like selling all of our shit and like all that and getting ready, packing it all was so stressful. Trying to ship all our stuff here. We also didn't have like a permanent place when we got here. We were renting a friend's place for like the month to like while we were looking. Thank God we like found a place in that time. Because if we didn't, then we would have to move our shit back. But yeah, so like we moved in. We only brought out like a little bit of things, like a box or two of like what we needed. And then after that, we found a place, and this place is perfect. I love where I live right now in Toronto. I still live in like the city, and it's just been blessing since then. Like I feel like I've grown a lot, just learned so much, and just matured and really learned how to be a for real like adult, like an adult. Cause like yeah, when you're like 20, like technically you're an adult when you're 18, but like you're still a kid till you're like 20, honestly. Like and then from like 20 to 22, you kind of like figure that shit out, like how to be an adult. You know what I mean? Like 22 to like or like 21 to like 24 or even 25. That whole next 5 years of your life is just you figuring out how to be an independent individual, independent adult, how to be a mature adult, how to just, just live a life that like solely like dependent on yourself, and like you're responsible for every decision that you ever make. And I feel like this year I really learned a lot, because especially like paying insane amounts of rent in Toronto, having to like have enough money to budget to like eat and still like have a social life, and like making sacrifices of what you can do, what not you can do. And it's just a lot, like you just learn a lot of sacrifices and learn a lot about yourself and learn a lot about your mental health, your needs, your versus your wants, your true goals, what actually makes you happy, like what makes you sad and how you overcome it, like new emotions that come in. And even like, especially with me too, like I live with my girlfriend. So like navigating where our relationship is and how our relationship works in a day-to-day basis of just seeing each other every day is like a challenge. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, because, I feel like it really strengthened our relationship as people individually, and just, I don't know, just like each other, like our individual mental health too. And like how we are together, like it just feels much stronger. It feels so much more secure. And I feel like this move really like opened my eyes to like the amount of growth and potential that I still have, like I feel like before, like I always knew I had potential and like growth left in me and things to learn, because Socrates always said like true knowledge comes from knowing that you know nothing, and I've always had like a big pride, big ego, where I feel like I know everything sometimes, like when you're a kid and you're like a know-it-all. And yeah, like I got to a point where I feel like I was a little bit thinking like I know what I'm getting into at this point. But now like once I moved, like that all changed. Like I knew nothing, like, and I had to start from scratch, and it was really tough. It was honestly a tough mental battle, and just moving out and just living by yourself. It's tough, especially to a new city. after like half your identity or like your whole identity is attached to your hometown. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we made it. We made it work. And I'm living a great life. I love it here. I'm going home actually tomorrow. This video will probably be up by then, but I'm going home tomorrow for the holidays. And as much as I love my family and seeing them for the holidays, I don't want to leave it here. I don't want to leave here. I love my spot. I love the city. And I don't know. It's just amazing to be here. I think this move has probably been the highlight of my year, just because of everything that came out of it. All those concerts weren't possible without living here. All these cool things I've done weren't possible without living here. All the cool people I've met, all the cool people I've collabed with, all the new friends I've met and like made, and things I've done, and just all these experiences would have never happened if I didn't like pull through with this. And like I wasn't even sure we were gonna pull through this. We would like talk about it, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll move in like the spring. Like we would like the idea was in the air, but we never really like solidified it till like maybe a couple months before we moved. We're like, okay, fuck it, let's just go. And then even then we didn't have a place to like live at the time. So a lot of this year has just been like, fuck it, we ball. Life will figure itself out. Like we'll figure it out eventually, Like sometimes you just gotta do it, And I feel like that's like one of the biggest lessons I learned. You just gotta do shit, Like whatever happens, happens. Like this is probably the brokest I've been in my life. One of the brokest I've been in my life. But this is probably the most happiest I've been in my life, which says a lot, Like I agree. I'm not the type of person to say that money doesn't bring happiness, because it does. Money would solve a lot of my issues right now. And money, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of things without money. But I don't think it's like the fact that like, I think what people mean is like money itself doesn't make you happy, but money gives you the opportunities for happiness. You know what I mean? Because when you got money, you can do things. You can have a life. You don't have to worry about like whether you're gonna eat one day, or if you're gonna have enough money to pay your rent or all that stuff. And like, I just learned a lot of like lessons about money. Like as much as important that as it is, and as stressful as it can be, it's not everything. I'm living in an apartment. A nice apartment in the new city. Like I eat every day, 3 meals a day, good food. I still have time to do a lot of experiences and all these concerts, and I have a lot of cool shit, and even though I'm broke, it doesn't matter because I am happy, and that's what I learned at the end of the day. Like I just did a lot of shit that I've been putting on back burner. I've been procrastinating, and that's probably the biggest lesson in here I've learned this year. Probably the biggest lesson I've learned this year is to fucking Nike, just do it. Just do shit. Honestly, just fucking go for it, Because like, what's the worst that can happen? Like you get in some shit, and then like you'll get over it anyway, It's like what I said in the last podcast. Like it's not fail or success. It's like, oh, you fail, okay, well, like you got to keep going because you're gonna succeed, and then after you succeed, well, what's next? You might fail, you might succeed again. Who knows? You know what I mean? But yeah, like that's all the good stuff. What all the bad stuff that happened? I want to know the shit you went through. Like life isn't all good stuff, Emson. I want to know what shit you went through. Well, you come to the right place because I gone through a lot of shit. Honestly, like I've had a lot of struggle this year with my identity and self. I kind of like talked a lot about this in my last episode, but yeah, like a lot of it has been just like identity, imposter syndrome, just self-worth and all that stuff. Like I've always been like a confident person, but I feel like I said, like moving here has really opened my eyes into making me realize that I know nothing, and I kind of just had to start from scratch, find out who I am. And honestly, even before I moved, I started to like lose myself. And a big part of it is that I've been constantly saying throughout episodes is just my own work and my content and my career, my passions, like I'm very passionate about what I do, like my film journey, like my social media journey, I guess you could say, content creator, whatever you want to say. But like, I just like I love making videos. It makes me happy. It's like the one thing that I will always come back to no matter what. Like, I don't think I could ever see myself doing anything else. Like, even if I do, it would still be like within the same realm of film, Like Like originally I wanted to be like a film director slash cinematographer. But then like eventually I was like, you know what? Like I want to kind of just be me, you know, for at first for a while, you know, at least. And so before I wanted to like cuz like before I wanted to make movies and stuff, but like I don't know, just in my mentality, I was like I don't want to make other people's stories. I want to make my own. You know, so I started with the YouTube stuff and all the TikTok stuff, and it's all been such a blessing, you know. But I feel like I've like I said, I've started to divert into places where of comfort, and I want to be in places where I'm uncomfortable, you know, so I can break that mold and figure out new shit and find out who I can be and like what my true potential is. And I feel like that's like the one thing this whole year I've struggled with. And it took like probably the whole year to really figure it out. Like the beginning of the year, like I dropped some bangers on like TikTok and Instagram, and on it, like even though they like made like millions of views and a good amount of traction and followers, like it just wasn't hitting for me still. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't feel like I was super proud. Like there's only maybe like 5 videos this whole year that I'm very, very proud of and happy that I'm up with, that I still rewatch to this day. But I want it so like every video was a banger. You know what I mean? And like whenever I make videos, like I know in my heart it's a banger when I watch it, like rewatch it like constantly, you know. And so that's what I want to feel with like every video. I just want to feel proud of what I've created, you know. And so I've just learned like, I mean, you know, the cliche quality over quantity, and especially it's such a cliche, but like we always get lost in like the quantity of things, because you know everyone says like, oh, you got to be consistent, you got to be you got to upload like every day as a creator, like weekly or fucking all the time, you got to keep up. Like nah man, if like I feel like being consistent doesn't mean like consistently uploading garbage. It's being consistently good and consistently better with every upload and every next piece of art or next video or whatever, with and anything you want to do, you know what I mean? Being consistent doesn't just always mean it's like fucking doing shit, you know? Would you rather have like fucking like 50 pieces of garbage or like fucking a solid 10, you know what I mean? Like solid 10 videos that you can be proud of. And honestly, that's not to say that quantity isn't important. Quantity is important because like you just got to keep making shit like just like, you know, till you can make a banger, you know? You're not always going to make a banger. But I feel like you can't just like mindlessly make stuff, you know what I mean? You still have to have some intention. And then if it turns bad or if it turns out bad, that's you at least you learn something, at least you put your all into it. You know what I mean? Like what I mean is like always try to at least consistently make something good, you know? And then if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But if it's solid, it turns solid. Rather than just like forcing yourself to just like make something just for the sake of making something. You know what I mean? Like at least that's how I see it. You know, some people may think otherwise, but yeah, I feel like yeah, like just that, my content identity, like who I want to be or what I want to do, like even just like the person I want to be, like what kind of morals and like habits do I want to get rid of, and like just and like what morals I want to keep and what habits I want to develop in the next year, you know what I mean? Like I want to like I feel like a lot of my habits have been like I procrastinate a lot. I just always so frazzled, you know? Like I don't it's not really a habit, but like I don't know, like I think one of my bad habits is procrastinating a lot on a lot of things. I have really severe ADHD though, and I'm not using that as an excuse, but it does play a part in who I am, because I'm not gonna deny that part of me. Like that is a big part of who I am. Like I am who I am because of that piece of me. You know what I mean? And something I want to work on is just I kind of like fortifying my mind into, you know, like overcoming all that stuff, you know, just like yes, I do have like some I do have like things that make me a little bit more hyper focused on things that don't matter, you know, and a little bit more distracted. But that doesn't mean I can't be somebody that's productive or somebody that can be successful, you know what I mean? Like that's not gonna stop me. Like I see that as a superpower in my opinion, you know? I just gotta learn how to fortify my mind and really like have this like mental control over myself, you know, Like I feel like I'd really need to like really control like my mind, because once I feel like I can control that, I feel like I can do anything. You know what I mean? Like if I can discipline myself, I think that's the biggest word. Discipline is what I need in my mind. You know what I mean? Just making sure I clean up after myself all the time, making sure I'm consistently going to the gym, even when I don't want to, eating healthy, eating consistently, doing all these little things like writing a little bit a day, journaling a little bit of a day, like video journaling. I don't know, working, at least have a little bit of my day working towards my passion. Just all these small atomic habits, shout out Atomic Habits, the book, all these small little habits will just like eventually build big change and growth. You know what I mean? And that's like one of the big lessons on this book I read, Atomic Habits. This is where I got that from. But yeah, like building, I just want to like in the next year, like build all these new and good habits that will bring about big change in who I am. Because if I change as a person, then my content will change, my work will change and be better. You know what I mean? Like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like Willy Wonka's chocolate and candy was ass because he felt like ass. You know what I mean? So if I'm feeling like ass, then my content is gonna be ass. So I gotta feel my best, so my content can be the best. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm working towards too this year. Something small. You know what I mean? Like I want like yeah, like I have big things like planned and stuff, but like really, all the big things that will come out of me this year. Pause. All the big things that I will make this year and create will come from me first. You know what I mean? I gotta work on me first before I can get to all of that, because that will all come like eventually. Like I know it is. Everything I want will come. Everything I've wanted and dreamed of will happen. Like it's already in the universe. I just have to be the person that's deserving and ready to have all of that. You know what I mean? That's pretty some deep shit. but yeah, like pretty much that's like my whole thing for next year. I just want to be a better person. You know what I mean? I want to be a Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? Like I just gotta hustle at it, hustle hard. But yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm comfortable ending it there. Will this be my last video of the year? I don't know. That's kind of like my year-end recap. What are my goals this year or for the next year? Do I want to tell y'all? I don't know, man. Forget. Well, goals for the next year. I already told you. Being a person, just a better person in general. Building good habits, getting rid of bad ones. What are my goals next year? I feel like I know what they are. Like I know what plans I have, but I don't know if I want to say it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna gatekeep it. Fuck it. I'll tell you. Fuck it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna promise anything for now. But I've got a lot of things that I want to do next year compared to what I did this year. I feel like this year was more so like taking a break from like all the content and the creative and just focusing on my life, and finding the balance between the two. But next year, it's going to be all about the work. We're going to put the grind in. We're going to be grinding on that shit so hard. Pause. No homo. But we're going to be grinding it out. Going to bring some cool shit for 2024. Shout out my Kobe year next year. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Whether this is the last video of the year or not, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like me. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Like the video if you like the video. And I'll see you guys next year. Possibly. Next video for sure, though. Next year, I don't know. Take care. Have a wonderful evening, morning, whenever you're watching this. Love, Emson. Peace.